Your life as a golden eagle. So, you're an egg. Great start to a video, right? But not just any egg. You're an eagle egg chilling in a nest made of sticks that looks like it was assembled by someone who failed structural engineering. Twice. This nest is perched on a cliff face so high that if you had a fear of heights, this would be a terrible time to develop consciousness. Your mom, a golden eagle with a wingspan that would make a small airplane jealous, has been sitting on you for about 42 days. She's basically been binge-watching the same show for 6 weeks straight, except the show is watch this egg do absolutely nothing. Then one day, you've had enough of this cramped calcium prison. You start pecking, and pecking, and pecking some more. Whoever designed eggs clearly never considered that the person trying to get out doesn't have hands, tools, or any real understanding of structural weak points. After what feels like hours of the world's most exhausting workout, you finally break through. Welcome to the world. It's bright, cold, and honestly a bit overwhelming. You're covered in white down that makes you look like an angry cotton ball, and you can barely lift your comically oversized head. Your sibling hatched 2 days before you, which means they've already established themselves as the favorite child. They're bigger, stronger, and have mastered the open mouth, receive food technique that you're still figuring out. Your parents are massive, like genuinely intimidating even though you're their offspring. Your dad's talons are the size of grizzly bear claws, and when he lands on the nest with a rabbit that's bigger than you are, the whole structure shakes like there's been a minor earthquake. Speaking of food, let's talk about the feeding situation. Your parents rip apart prey and feed you tiny pieces, which sounds caring until you realize your sibling is getting the bigger portions because they're louder and more aggressive. You try to compete, opening your mouth as wide as physically possible and making sounds that can only be described as desperately pathetic. It works sometimes. Your nest is located on a cliff ledge about 200 feet up, which means the view is spectacular and the fall would be fatal. There's no safety net, no guardrails, just you, your sibling, a pile of sticks, and the understanding that one wrong move means you're learning to fly the hard way. Your parents don't seem concerned about this at all. They come and go, bringing food, occasionally renovating the nest by adding more sticks that definitely don't improve the structural integrity, and generally treating this death trap like it's perfectly normal, because for them it is. By week 6, you're getting bored. Your sibling is bigger and pushes you around. Your parents are gone for hours hunting, and all you can do is stand at the edge of the nest and look at the sky. Other birds fly by, and you're starting to develop what can only be described as FOMO. Your wings are getting stronger, covered in juvenile feathers that make you look less like a cotton ball and more like an actual bird. You start flapping, testing these new appendages that are somehow supposed to keep you airborne. The physics don't make sense. You're heavy, the air is invisible, and yet apparently this works for everyone else. Then comes the day that changes everything. You're about 10 weeks old, fully feathered, and standing at the edge of the nest watching your sibling who took their first flight yesterday and looked absolutely terrified but survived. Your parents are circling nearby, calling to you. It's not encouragement, it's more like, get out of our house, you're old enough to handle yourself now. You look down, bad idea. You look at the sky, slightly better idea. You look at your wings, questionable idea. And then, because apparently peer pressure works even on birds, you jump. For approximately 1.5 seconds, you experience pure, unfiltered regret. You're falling, the cliff face is rushing past you, and your brain is screaming, "This was a mistake." Then instinct kicks in. Your wings spread automatically, catching air in a way that seems physically impossible but somehow works. You're not falling anymore. You're gliding. Then you flap once, twice, and suddenly you're actually flying. The sensation is absolutely insane. You can see for miles in every direction. Mountains, valleys, forests, all laid out below you like the world's most impressive map. Your parents are nearby, flying alongside you, and for the first time you understand why they're always in the air. because being up here is the most incredible thing you've ever experienced. Of course, landing is a whole different skill, and your first attempt looks like a controlled crash. You hit a tree branch, scramble for grip with your talons, and end up hanging upside down for a solid 10 seconds before righting yourself. Your parents definitely saw that. You can feel their judgment from here. But you're alive, you're flying, and you've just unlocked the entire sky as your new playground. Over the next few months, you learn the family business, hunting. Your eyesight is genuinely ridiculous. You can see a rabbit moving in the grass from over 2 miles away. Your brain processes visual information so fast that you can track multiple objects simultaneously while flying at 80 miles per hour. You're basically a living drone with built-in target tracking. But seeing prey and catching prey are two very different skills. Your first hunting attempt is embarrassing. You spot a ground squirrel, go into a dive, talons extended, feeling like the apex predator you're destined to become, and you miss. Completely. The squirrel barely even noticed you. It continues eating like you weren't just attempting murder from the sky. You land awkwardly on a rock, trying to look like you meant to do that, but there are no witnesses except your pride, which is severely wounded. You practice. A lot. You learn that the secret to a successful hunt is the dive. Golden eagles don't chase prey horizontally like amateurs. They gain altitude and then drop like a feathered missile. You can reach speeds over 150 miles per hour in a dive, which is faster than most cars on a highway. When you hit prey at that speed with talons that can exert over 400 pounds of pressure per square inch, it's game over instantly. It's efficient, effective, and looks absolutely spectacular. Your favorite targets become marmots. They're large, calorie-dense, and honestly a bit slow on the uptake. You've perfected a technique where you circle casually, looking like you're just enjoying the view, and the marmots relax. Then you dive from their blind spot, and by the time they hear you, it's already over. Is it fair? No. Is it effective? Absolutely. You're not here to give prey a sporting chance. You're here to eat. One day you try something ambitious. There's a young fox wandering too far from cover. Foxes are generally off the menu because they're fast and scrappy, but this one looks distracted. You commit to the dive, talons extended, and at the last second the fox looks up and you make eye contact. There's a moment of mutual understanding. You've made a huge mistake. The fox dodges, you crash into the ground, and the fox actually barks at you. You're pretty sure it's laughing. You fly away with your dignity in tatters, but you learned a valuable lesson. Pick your battles. By age 2, you've established yourself as a competent hunter with a territory covering about 60 square miles. You've figured out the best hunting spots, the best perches for surveillance, and the best thermal air currents for effortless soaring. You've also developed an intense dislike for ravens. They're smart, obnoxious, and seem to exist solely to annoy you. They steal your kills when you're not paying attention, they mob you when you're trying to hunt, and they make these irritating calls that sound like mocking laughter. One raven in particular, you've nicknamed Steve in your head, is your nemesis. Steve has stolen 3 of your kills this month. 3. This means war. You spot Steve harassing another eagle, and you swoop in like the world's most dramatic vigilante. Steve scatters, you reclaim your dominance, and you feel genuinely satisfied. Until Steve comes back 10 minutes later with his entire family and they all harass you as a group. You can't win against 6 ravens. You retreat, vowing revenge, but also acknowledging that Steve might be smarter than you. Eventually, you meet another golden eagle who doesn't immediately try to fight or flee from you. This is unusual and intriguing. It's mating season, and apparently your hormones have decided that territorial violence should temporarily be replaced with aerial courtship displays. You and this other eagle start doing synchronized flying, which involves dramatic dives, talon grappling where you lock feet and tumble through the air, and a lot of showing off. It's equal parts romantic and absolutely terrifying. At one point you're tumbling toward the ground, talons locked, and you're thinking, this is either the best or worst decision of my life. You separate at the last second, both pulling up safely, and apparently that was impressive because you've just secured a mate for life. Golden Eagle's mate for life, which means you've just committed to what could be 30 years with this bird. No pressure. You both select a territory, build a nest that's somehow even more precarious than the one you grew up in, and the cycle continues. You're now the parent, dealing with demanding chicks who think food appears magically and have no concept of how hard you work to keep them fed. One day while hunting, you notice something off. There's a strange tower in your territory that wasn't there before, with spinning blades. You don't know what a wind turbine is, but you know it's loud, disrupts your hunting patterns, and takes up space. More concerning, you've seen other birds collide with it. You give it a wide berth, adjusting your flight paths, but it's one more thing to navigate in a world that keeps changing. Despite this, you're thriving. You're a golden eagle in your prime, ruling the skies with a 7-foot wingspan, eyesight that puts telescopes to shame, and hunting skills that are genuinely frightening. You can dive at 200 miles per hour, hit prey with the force of a sledgehammer, and fly for hours without getting tired. You've mastered your environment, raised offspring, and established yourself as one of the most impressive predators in the Northern Hemisphere. As you soar on a thermal updraft, expending almost no energy while covering massive distances, you spot your territory stretched out below. The mountains, the forests, the sky that's been your home since that terrifying first flight. This is your world. You're a golden eagle and there's nowhere else you'd rather be. Well, except maybe somewhere without Steve the Raven, but otherwise, perfect. If you enjoyed soaring through the sky as one of nature's most magnificent predators, smash that like button and tell me in the comments which animal should be next. And subscribe because we're just getting started with these impossible lives. Next time, we're going underwater. Way underwater. See you then.